The first day of a new round of trilateral talks between Ukraine, Russia, and the United States took place in Abu Dhabi. According to Rustem Umerov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, after the trilateral meeting, the negotiation process continued in the format of group work.
The work was highly substantive and very productive, centered around concrete steps and practical solutions.
Soon after, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced the first result of the negotiations with Russia in his evening address. According to him, another prisoner exchange is expected to take place in the near future. In
general, our Ukrainian position is very clear. The war must be brought to a real end. It is Russia that must be ready for this. And our partners must also be ready to ensure this with real security guarantees.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio commented on the course of the negotiations in Abu Dhabi. Rubio stated that there is both good news and bad news regarding the negotiations. The good news is that the list of unresolved issues has been significantly reduced.
The unfortunate news is that the issues that still remain today are the most challenging ones to resolve. Meanwhile, the war continues.
Meanwhile, the military and political leadership of Russia continues to insist on their ultimatum demands. This is reported by analysts from the Institute for the Study of War. It is noted that the Kremlin continues to put forward demands in order to create the necessary informational conditions to reject any peace agreement that does not suit Russia. In particular, the press secretary of the Foreign Ministry of the aggressor country, Maria Zakharova, once again stated that the Kremlin is categorically opposed to the deployment of Western troops in Ukraine. According to Ukrainska Pravda, citing military personnel at various levels, there will be no end or halt to the war, not this year nor in 2027. The military also do not believe in the effectiveness of negotiations, and that Russia will limit itself only to seizing the Donetsk region. Meanwhile, on February 5th, the second day of negotiations began in Abu Dhabi. UAUS
in Russia. Friends, according to media reports, Russia unexpectedly put forward new conditions at the negotiations in Abu Dhabi. But I am inclined to believe this condition, even though it is unofficial. Why? Because Russian media published it, citing an unnamed Western official. And these are disciplined party soldiers, disciplined propagandists, who would never do anything without orders from above. There would never be any references to unnamed Western officials without approval. We received the order to publish this topic without naming the source. Is that what it is? Are they testing the waters, or are they really putting forward such a condition? All parties involved in the negotiations, that is, both Ukraine and the US, are officially required not just to hand over the Donetsk region to Russia, but to formally recognize Donbas as Russian territory. Those are their conditions. Well, apparently that's what they want. Not just amending their constitution and temporarily possessing it, but so Putin can report back and go down in history as having been right, and so both Ukrainians and Americans would recognize his greatness and agree to everything. I don't know, to hell with what they're doing in Donbas. Yesterday I posted videos and photos, and actually today as well, showing how they're destroying Donbas and Kiev. On my Telegram channel, I posted a lot of photos from Druzhkivka, where bombs and cluster munitions hit. There are casualties, lots of wounded. So, for anyone interested in the details of how Russia is liberating Donbas, vividly, graphically, and with swearing, check out the Sazonov official Telegram channel or the Facebook page of Kyrylo Pravdarub. The links are in the video description, but that's not even the main point. Yes, they're destroying Donbas, wiping it off the face of the earth. Why would they want to possess a pile of rubble? Land mixed with debris. Look at the photos and videos. I've posted about Avdiivka, Torres, Krasnohorivka as well. What are the cities of Donbas turning into? Wherever the liberator Russia arrives, there's not a single spot left untouched. Why do they need this? They have plenty of their own territory. Or are they trying to shift eastward away from China? In general, the conditions are most likely absurd, and it will make negotiations even more complicated. The Americans, of course, don't care, but we do. That's why it's unlikely we'll agree to these terms, at least definitely not in the near future. And it really seems that this is exactly why Russia is dragging things out. But let them drag it out. Last night I posted photos and videos of how it's not just about living. Now in Belgorod, because our missiles can reach there, but soon they will. Oh, and in Rostov too. But soon they'll be able to reach even farther, much farther, and a certain distance into Russian territory will be plunged into darkness and cold, just as they wanted, just as they deserved. Is this demand for recognition of Donbass as Russian even worth it? I don't think so. But Putin has his own cockroaches in his head. The old man is old, he doesn't care anymore. Friends, subscribe to my Telegram and Facebook. There I can post updates more quickly. Subscribe to this channel too. I'd be glad to see you here. Ukraine will prevail.